Hey everyone, it's Ryan Howe here with Small Business News. Got a good one for you today. Again, for those that don't know, this is the program where I share just some of the information that I share with my clients every single day. I am a business coach, works out of West Michigan and around the country. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I hope to earn your subscription today. And as always, the links to all the articles we talk about be in the description, that general area right there. Now, this comes from Inc.com, where we're going to be looking into when Starbucks moves in, neighborhoods change like this for 7 years, according to a massive new study. Now, what they found is when you do get a new Starbucks into an area, they found that actually the rate of entrepreneurship goes up. Now, there's a working paper here by professors at Columbia University now suggests when a Starbucks arrives, that 7 years of entrepreneurial growth occurs. And specifically, in those neighborhoods that never had a coffee shop before. Let's go back in time. So when Starbucks was originally founded, it was designed to be that third space that people could come and connect with others. Again, first space being home, second space being work, third space being where people come together to meet and mingle. And what ended up happening, you can see this out here, is a place where people just come relax or they can meet for business meetings. Big part of what coffee shops are today. So in areas that didn't have that before, Starbucks come in and now all of a sudden we've got a place where we can meet. And of course you throw in caffeine and sugary snacks, man, all of a sudden brain starts firing. Anyways, now a new Starbucks leads to a 7-year neighborhood entrepreneurship boom, a rise of between 5 and 11.8% in the rate of local entrepreneurship. Now that works out between 1.1 and 3.5 new businesses per year that would not have been created otherwise, with the increase normally lasting about 7 years. And again, the researchers have long debated another version of the so-called Starbucks effect, which is the idea that new Starbucks locations are correlated with rising home prices. And that, I mean, there is something to that. I've seen studies for that and against it, but it does make sense. The author continues here, well, maybe the presence of a new Starbucks sends signals to people about a neighborhood on the rise, or maybe Starbucks is just really good at predicting which neighborhoods to move into. Honestly, it's a little bit of both when you look at the way that they do their measurements and they scout new locations. But this new research on entrepreneurship heads in a different direction, suggesting that it's the Starbucks model, and the thing that Starbucks has long proclaimed is one of its reasons for being that might make the difference. And this is where they cover the third place. Now, summarizing previous work on the question, here's what the authors write. When starting a company, entrepreneurs benefit from having others with whom to brainstorm, refine ideas, identify potential pitfalls, seek funders and other supporters, and navigate legal and logistical roadblocks. Starbucks was distinct in this respect because in the 80s, when many coffee shops primarily focused on selling food and drink, Starbucks invested in a model inspired by European cafes, wherein the coffee shop would provide a social setting for individuals to interact. As somebody who lived in Europe for quite a few years, and that was one of my favorite parts about going to the local cafes, to the bars, was you could go get your beverage, sit, and you were left alone. They would come by every now and again just to see if you need a refill or anything, but they would leave you alone. You could sit there, interact, and it would be open air. So I can see why the founders wanted to bring that to America for sure. All right, so with this, let's talk about how they got their data, because this is interesting as well. First, they found an intriguing control group. Neighborhoods where Starbucks wanted to open new stores, but was stymied because of city planning, zoning, community organization, or other issues. Second, their control group was, we wanted to go in here, but the community said, no, we don't want you here. Second, they took a special look at the partnership between Starbucks and legendary basketball player turned entrepreneur Magic Johnson. In neighborhoods where Johnson was involved, the effect was much greater, 29.7% increase in the number of expected startups. And third, finally, in order to increase the number of neighborhoods they could examine, they looked at both census tracts where Starbucks entered neighborhoods and compared them to all census tracts that did not previously have a coffee shop. Now, again, it's a massive trove of data. Now, we should note this is a very long-term study. We're going to leave it there. I highly recommend come back and check out the article on Inc.com. The link is in the description. But that is something where I want to go back and make sure we highlight the importance of your local coffee shop. Let's say your local bookstore that has a little coffee shop in there. Whatever happens to be in your area, how very important they are, because so much business is conducted by consultants, by entrepreneurs, by business leaders, because they just want to get out of the office and go to a place to grab a cup of coffee, sit, and have a less stuffy conversation. So it's no wonder that where Starbucks lands, there tends to be a growth in entrepreneurship. So with that, what I would say to you, if you are in an area that does not have a third space, does not have a coffee shop, I would highly recommend taking a look at that and see the math, see what it looks like. You would be shocked and amazed at how quickly you will gain an audience. But also just keep in mind, this is why we need coffee shops. They are that hub, that third space where we can all just kind of get together and do our things. Links are in the description. Go check it out. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.